Hi, I'm George and I'm the vicar here at Holy Trinity Church in Aldershot. As I look back on my childhood and upbringing, I was brought up in a village in Devonshire, which was lovely, an enjoyable childhood. The family were what you would call nominal churchgoers, so we occasionally went to the village church, which to me was incredibly boring, but didn't mean much to me, and I think my family at that time either. The schools I went to were Church of England schools, so again there was this central belief in God, but it didn't make any difference to my life. If you'd said to me, do you believe in God? I would have said yes and shrugged my shoulders, but that was about it. And come the late teenage years, there was really very little of that left. And after leaving school and a year off, when I went to university, that was really the first time I encountered Christians, living Christians. These people were my age, they smiled a lot, they talked a lot, and what was a little bit shocking to me was they talked about their faith. They talked about Jesus. Now, I had been told that if you have a faith, you keep that to yourself. So these were people I thought were a bit weird, and I gave them a wide berth for quite a while. But they were persistent. They invited me to talks and meetings. I said no for a couple of terms, but eventually came along. And the first one I came to was a talk. I don't remember much about it, but something internally happened. I heard this voice inside me saying, George, you have got to become a Christian. Now, I'd assumed that I was a Christian. So that confused me. But also the last thing I wanted to do was really change my life, because I was having fun, and I didn't want to count the cost and change. So I entered into debate. For some time I argued against Christianity. I spoke out against it, but as I looked at the evidence, I found more and more and more that it was true. That if you like, the step of faith to belief was a much smaller step than the step to unbelief. So I weighed it up, made a delay in my decision, and then eventually took a step, invited Jesus into my life. Now, I can't say at that point everything changed. I knew something profoundly deep had happened. There were certain things that I changed in my life, but it was actually only a few years later, especially after being filled with the Spirit, that a lot of things really significantly changed in my life, in my outlook. I started to explore what God wanted me to do. I worked abroad, I worked for a church, and eventually went down the route of ordination. And I have been so blessed by God. I'm so thankful for all that He has done in my life. It's very exciting to see Him working even through me and in this town and in this church. And so would I commend faith in Jesus Christ to anybody? The answer is a definite yes.